Hello everybody. What we have here is a hair trimmer from Philips. What I use for trimming my hair and beard. It's not my usual one because last year during the pandemic, because our house was full of furniture from offices that had to temporarily close because of our businesses, um, I couldn't find mine, which is quite a nice one. So I called up a local electrical shop because they're all shut and they're only like doing click and collect. And I said, "Do you have a hair trimmer?" And they said, "Sure, we got this Philips one." So I got it, and it did the job. It's not the best hair trimmer in the world, but anyway, I've lost the connector for it, the power charger, sorry, and I'm kind of a little bit annoyed because of some details I'll go into. But anyway, I'm going to tear it down and have a look at it and see how simple these things are, and see if there's any way I can rig up a charger for it, if possible. Or not, who knows, we'll see. So, right, to begin with, this thing here, the comb, has this rather nice ratcheting adjustment mechanism, so let's put it down and see. Ooh. So, you can choose how much of your hair you want to cut off or not. Take that off. Underneath it you got the cutter, and if you pull these off, I don't know if you know you can pull them off, but you can. Inside you'll see something quite simple. It's just a pin that spins, but it's offset. And underneath that, in the cutter, you've got the two blades. They've got the outer blade and the inner blade, and they just slide back and forward like at high speed. And that spring mechanism there is just to keep the right distance between, the right tension between them. Too tight and they wouldn't move, and too loose and they wouldn't cut properly, and they'd actually be quite painful as it sort of grabs your hair as you shave. Really quite a simple mechanism. That's as simple as that. If we have a look actually at the way the razor operates when you switch it on, you can see that it just spins off centered. And if I do this, see if I can. So yeah, it's just like an off center pin, and there's no side to side. You might think there's a side to side mechanism inside it. No, it's just this thing spinning, and the pin spins around in here. Ooh, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's it. Simple as that. It's really quite simple. Now let's open this thing up and have a look inside. So actually, before I do that, I'll tell you why I'm so annoyed with this. This connector is proprietary, as far as I can tell. It looks like an IEC C1, which would be a fairly common connector in the world of shavers and personal care devices. But this clearly isn't one, because the IEC C1 does not have this cutout here. And I can't for the world figure out what this is. I've looked at various charts and documents and whatever else, and gone over Wikipedia and all the electronics forums, and this seems to be a proprietary thing by Philips, which is kind of annoying, because it means if you have to buy a replacement charger, you have to buy it from Philips. Well, actually, you can find plenty on no. Oh, sorry, I was distracted there by my children. Yeah, so you can actually buy replacement chargers on like these third-party websites, off-brand ones which are compatible with Philips, but cheapest ones I can find are €15, which I don't really want to spend that. Not that I'm cheap or anything. I just think there's better ways of doing this. So anyway, let's open this bad boy up, or not. Uses a Torx screw. If I can get it in. So let's. Yeah, one of the things about trimmers and razors in general, is that they have a tendency to market themselves as having all the advanced technology, and each new iteration is like the shave's closer than ever, using such and such micro technology or whatever. And the reality is, is that the technology doesn't really evolve that much. It's like fractions of a percent better each time. I wonder if I have to take these out. I probably do, because it kind of makes sense. Sorry about the background noise. It's a bit windy today. some reason this camera shows my hands as being very red. They aren't red in real life. They're just nice and tan from a very hot summer. So let's see if that opens it up. What am I doing wrong here? Got a different blade. Curious. Doesn't want to be opened up. Can't see any other screws. Maybe I have to take the button off. Nope. Don't you just love watching people trying to open things? Isn't that TikTok channel of somebody fitting things into spaces that are just barely big enough to contain them, and people find it fascinating? This is tricky. I wonder if there's any panels I have to peel off. Ah, this looks interesting. Oh, that one's shooting. Oh, it's a bit dirty in there. There's a screw. Those screws seem to be slightly magnetic for some reason. Does this get me in? No. Huh. See if there's anything underneath this. Well, that's gone flying. Nothing there either. Let's grab it back before I lose it. You know, this is tricky. I cannot for the world figure this out. Ah, now we're getting somewhere. There's definitely something holding it together there. Ah, it's our old friend clips. So what do we have here? So this ratcheting mechanism appears to be quite simple, really. There is a sort of like ramp inside this thing you turn, which as you turn it, it pushes the comb mechanism up and down. But what I'm interested in is the batteries. The power comes in there. You notice one's insulated and one isn't. Let's see if I can take this out without destroying it. Is that a what kind of battery is that? It's all soldered on here. Can I remove it? No. Okay, I'm thinking I'm going to have to just take it apart. Oh, interesting. That's... What have we got here? It's a nickel metal hydride, 750 amp hours. And it's a AAA. That is not what I was expecting, to be honest with you. I was kind of expecting an 18650 lithium ion. Yeah, they really have made this cheap. I'm trying to get my head around the charging circuitry, which there doesn't appear to be any. Positive. Okay, I'm going to come back in a few minutes after I figured out how to take this apart. So after some fiddling around, it was obvious I just had to remove this doohickey from the motor shaft. So here we are. Right, let's see, what have we got here? Power switch to turn it on. As it looks, is that a circuit? It's not a circuit board, it's just a wire connector. So what we have is basically the charging circuitry is actually in the adapter itself, which probably goes some way to explain that. They want it to be polarized, so they don't have to put in circuitry to handle it here. There is no charging circuit in here. The wires come straight into the battery itself. So I'm assuming that's the negative port, because that goes to the negative end of the battery, and the positive goes through there, and it's wired into the switch to save on money. Yeah, the motor itself is a cheap and cheerful DC motor. Yeah, I'm actually kind of surprised. What's the voltage on that? It's 1.2 volts. So why does the power adapter say it runs at 15? I don't know. Yeah, really cheap and cheerful. I'm going to go on a bit of a rant here about right to repair and the environment, stuff like this. This clearly is not designed to be fixable. Now, the thing that's going to go in this is probably the battery. It's a nickel metal hydride. Depending on how often you use it and how many times you charge it, you might be lucky to get a couple of years out of it, but for some people it might go within a year or two before it stops holding a charge. Maybe even less. If you're particularly hirsute and you're always shaving yourself. Or you might have some, I don't know, lots of hairy people in your family and you're shaving them. But anyway, it would be nice if they built these things so that the battery could be replaced. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a battery compartment that's easy to open without, say, screwdrivers. But if they just had like a screw you could remove, and you had just a normal battery holder here, you could just pull that out and put a new one in. This was €50, which isn't that cheap really for something like this. Like my good one is actually which is a very similar design in terms of how the ratcheting mechanism goes up and down. I got it in Lidl and it was €25, and I'd consider it better than this. And it even has lights to indicate the level of charge in the battery. But this is just basically bad for the environment. So once this battery is done, unless you're good with a soldering iron to replace the battery, because it's the terminals are soldered on, it's pretty much junk. And like I say, like it's kind of weird that you can replace the cutter. They're about €10, £10. I'm not quite sure, but they're about 10 whatever it is in your currency. And you can replace this bit as well, and you can replace the charger. But the weakest link in all this, which I would consider the battery, and when the battery is gone, as I've said, it's junk basically for most people. So I'm kind of disappointed. For the price of it, I would have expected better from Philips. Yeah. I went to the Evolue one in 1988, which was the Philips science museum, which they opened in Eindhoven in the Netherlands. It was really good. It's like a big, it looks like a big flying saucer sitting on a cake stand. It's really good. No, it's a conference centre, but yeah, kind of developed a love for Philips then, but and their products. But this is disappointing. Anyway, I'll shut up now. Take care. Bye bye.